Welcome to the instructional video on how to use the washer-dryer trailer. This washer-dryer trailer is an important piece of equipment in the Ending Trachoma program, and its primary use is with environmental health clinical referrals, but also when people congregate on country and they might not have access to washing facilities. You can use it for other events too, but if you want to use it, please book online at the link below.
Hooking up. To hook up the trailer to the vehicle, you'll need two people. You first need to guide the car over the tow ball. Lower the trailer onto the tow ball using the jockey wheel, making sure the tow ball lock is fully down and the clip is in place. Hook up lights with the 7-pin plug. If your vehicle uses a rectangular 7-pin plug, you'll find a converter in the large grey tub. Cross shackles under the vehicle, attaching them to the allocated connection points. You may have to get on the ground to attach the shackles correctly. Release the brake fully down and flick the lever over so the brake handle cannot re-engage. Fully wind up the jockey wheel and tilt to a horizontal position until pins lock into place. Look for any further obstacles around the trailer. Before leaving, check indicators and all lights are working. And one last thing before you go, check there's fuel in the generator, water in the sink. I'll tell you a little bit about this later on. Where to park? When arriving at your destination, make sure you park in a clear and level space. Check the surroundings for hazards and allow enough room for the trailer doors to open. You'll need to have access to running water and ideally power and a wastewater drain. Disengage the tow ball lock, apply the brake handle and level off the trailer with the jockey wheel if needed. Now you don't have to unhook the trailer, but it does need to be level. Apply the brake and adjust the jockey wheel as needed. Power. Open the trailer doors. If you have access to power and the tenant or community gives you permission to use it, find the nearest power point and plug the yellow power leads located in the large tub into the house or building power supply. Connect the other end of the lead into the small 10 to 15 amp converter plug, then connect to the power socket located next to the generator storage box on the right hand side of the trailer. The converter plug can also be found in the grey storage box. If you don't have access to power, you'll find the generator here at the front of the trailer. Make sure it's full of unleaded fuel. To do this, unscrew the fuel cap located on the top of the generator. If the fuel level is nearly full to the top, you should be good to go. If not, you'll find a small 10-litre jerry can and funnel in the generator box and top up as needed. Hopefully you've remembered to grab the fuel on the way. Pull out the generator using the two yellow draw switches located either side of the tray. We then connect the short grey lead with the orange end fitting snug into the generator 15 amp socket and screw tight. The other end plugs into the trailer power supply. Making sure the generator switch is fully on, turn knob to on, the green position, and pull choke out to half. Pull the pull start. This may take a few pulls. When started, push the choke back in. If you're unsure with the starting procedure, you'll find the generator step-by-step instructions on top of the generator. Hopefully it's working and you're good to go. You'll also need to note that there is a small screen located above the generator with 4 arrow keys. Press up and up again to access the temperature of the battery. This must be checked frequently during the running of the washing machines. If the battery gets close to 60 degrees, turn off generator and let cool down. Always keep both doors open on the generator when it's in use to allow the cool breeze to come through. Never operate on a day that's above 40 degrees plus. Connect the blue hose to the nearest water tap. At the trailer, connect the blue hose to the input under the washing machine at the rear of the trailer. Turn on the tap if water sprays from the connection. Turn off the tap and readjust until it's tight. Unzip top left corner cover and pull the Velcro off the sides of the washing machine dust cover. Fold and store neatly back on the trailer, not on the ground. Roll up the rear flap of the dust cover and fasten using the Velcro straps located on both left and right sides of the top. Remove the 8 drum pins. These pins are to keep the drum still during travel. The tools for removing the pins are located at the back of the washing machines, or you can use a 1/2 inch ratchet if you have one. Now it's time to wash. Turn on each washing machine as needed by pressing the power button. Put the washing into the machines, ideally making sure you don't mix household or people's clothing from one home with another. Try not to overload the machines. Put laundry detergent or powder in the drawers in the top left-hand side of the washing machine. Set to quick wash. Hit start, the washing machines will weigh the load and time the wash accordingly. When the cycle is finished, turn off the machines and the door will unlock. Take the washing out. Be careful, the washing will be hot as the quick wash cycle has a steam dry. Give the washing to the householder to hang, or if you have the time, you can assist. The washing will be slightly damp from the steam, but should only take 10 to 15 minutes to dry once hung up. Water. The wastewater tank holds 260 litres. Each wash uses 130 litres, so at the end of 2 washes, we're going to have to empty the wastewater tank. If there's a nearby drain, connect the yellow hose to the outlet valve. You'll find this underneath the rear right-hand side of the trailer. If a drain is present, you can do this prior to starting the washing machines. Turn the blue tap to the open position and empty. The waste tank is gravity fed. If you need to increase the flow, you can wind up the jockey wheel, raising the front of the trailer. Pack up machines. Disconnect and pack away all the hoses and power leads into tubs. You'll also need to pack away the generator if you've used it. If you have used it, turn the knob to the red position off. Push the generator into the trailer using the yellow buttons on the tray and shut the door. Put the pins back into the drum if you're returning to base. If you're using them again a short distance away, you can leave them out, but make sure you store them in the bag in a safe place where they can't be lost. Put the covers back on the machines and check that they are on properly and all Velcro is secured. Barbecue. Push down the yellow drawer buttons to pull out. Remove and push up the barbecue lid, which will act as your splash plate. Grab the gas bottle from the front of the trailer, connect the hose, remembering it's a reverse thread. The operating instructions are on the barbecue. Push the button down and turn to high. Press the ignition switch. You should see a small flame under the plate on the right-hand side. For more heat, turn on the rear knob to high, which will heat the whole plate. You'll need to put oil on the plate, but make sure it's drawing towards the oil waste drain. If it's not, use the jockey wheel to adjust the height of the trailer. Table. Undo the leg for the table, you'll find it on the top shelf, and adjust it until you see the line. Pull down the table and place it in position on top of the leg. Sink. Grab the sink and place it in its position in the rear of the trailer, sliding it into the area marked sink on the trailer. Pull out the lock, drop down the tap arm over the sink. The pump will engage when you turn the tap on. The water inlet valve for the water tank is by the sink. Use a blue hose to fill it, or there's a water funnel stored in the front of the trailer. It holds up to 70 litres, so you can fill this up before you start or whenever you have a water supply. Have soap available and put that in the sink so everyone washes their hands before eating. The wastewater container goes under the sink. Check that the water's going in. This can be emptied at the end down a nearby drain. Packing up is basically a reverse of the setup. Wipe down the barbie plate, discard the used oil, put the gas bottle away at the front of the trailer, shut all doors and make sure everything's secure. All locks need to be back in position to secure everything in place. The bouncy castle needs a minimum of 2 people to inflate, as it weighs 120 kilos. It's best not to inflate this in windy conditions. Preferably, you'd have a power supply nearby to use it. Make sure there's a clear space. Stand up the bouncy castle and remove it from the protective cover. Lay it down and spread it out on the ground so it's even and square. Plug in the motor into the rear exhaust chute. Put the strap around the end and tie. Make sure the zips are all closed before inflating. You will find these on either side of the bouncy castle. Connect to the power supply, switch on, and it should inflate evenly. Pack it up. To pack it up, turn off the power supply, unzip all zips to let out the air, and place the pillars in line with the edges of the bouncy castle. Fold outer edges into the middle. Fold one side on top of the other. Press and roll up with 2 people, rolling towards the input area. Tighten the straps back around the castle and put it back into its protective cover.